Hello everybody and welcome to another Singapore Google Learning webinar. My name is Tim Evans and I'm here with you for the next hour where we will look to discuss Chrome extensions. Okay. Before I begin, just to remind you that this series of webinars are pre-recorded, and what this is now allowing us to do, it's allowing us to get into the chat here in YouTube. Okay, so please log into YouTube. Remember to log into YouTube to view the chat, and we will be there. Myself and other colleagues from Apps Events will be here to answer any of your questions. Okay, so I apologize maybe if I'm going too fast over something. If I am, ask us a question in the chat there, mention it in the chat, and we could maybe talk you through some specific things that we're doing. Okay, as I mentioned, I'm an Apps Events trainer and a Google certified trainer, as are my colleagues who are in the chat. So we'll try and share our knowledge, our experience, or rather call it experience of using these tools and how we actually use these tools on a day-to-day basis. Okay, so I mentioned this is pre-recorded, so I'm about to share my screen. I'm going to drop out now. You guys don't want to see any more of me, and I'll share my screen, and at the end then I'll come back on just to wrap things up and also to remind you guys about the chat. So get logged in while I look to just share my screen. So you should be able to see my screen there. Okay, so I introduced myself really briefly earlier, but just to let you know, my name's Tim. Okay, I'm an international educator. Okay, I work at an international school as an educational technology coordinator. Okay, feel free to pause or come back and read that little bio there. Okay, I'm not always comfortable just reading out a list of certifications I have, but you can see some things there. One thing I would like to highlight though is my Twitter handle at the bottom of the page. I'm a big fan of Twitter myself. It's a great tool for learning and growing, sharing and connecting. If you're not on Twitter, again, I highly recommend you get on there. If you are on there, give me a follow and we can look to share some things. I'm always looking to share experience, things I'm currently doing, working on. Again, I use it to reach out to people, ask questions, and hopefully get responses and things like that. So it's definitely something I would look to explore if you are not. Okay, and then on Twitter, and there you can actually see my Twitter. Okay, so more importantly, today. Okay, so today I mentioned we're going to look at Chrome extensions. When I was putting this session together, I really wanted to turn it into teaching and learning and actual valuable tools that you guys can use today. Okay, you can start using them today. There are hundreds and probably thousands of Chrome extensions out there, but I wanted to put together a dozen or so that are truly add value to teaching and learning. Okay, so these are tools that I use on a day-to-day basis. So we're just going to go through. I've tried to split them up into little what would you call it? Little sections, basically. Okay, so then you can actually see which one. Some are very similar. Okay, so I mentioned I use them all. I've used them all before. Like there's a couple that we will look at, such as Screencastify and Loom, where I actually use Loom more than Screencastify, but I think it's good for you guys to have the opportunity to explore them and see which tools actually suit you. Okay, so to get started, first of all, the Chrome web. Well, first let's just say what a Chrome extension is. So Chrome extension is, we're all on Chromebooks, okay, absolutely amazing devices. A Chrome extension is an extension to Google Chrome that helps and improve your productivity, improve your use of that tool. Okay, we'll have a look now. I'm going to be jumping back and forwards from my slides deck to the actual, I'm going to go through and show you a little tutorial of how things work. So if we go to the Chrome Web Store here, okay, again, this is just almost like the Play Store basically for Chrome tools. Okay, so you can actually see extensions that are recommended. Okay, you can see there's an extension for Hangout, Google Keep. Okay, I know Seti spoke on one of these webinars about Google Keep. There's Grammarly, there's Translate, all these tools that we use on standalone. A lot of these you recognize. Okay, however, there are extensions that we can add them at the top here. We'll look at that in a minute, and just make things easier for you. Okay, I mentioned these are the extensions that I use daily, so I'm including them. But there are some, I've used the word gimmick tongue-in-cheek, but there's things about Giphy, how to generate GIFs quickly, all those type of tools. I've used them. Maybe potentially I might use Giphy once a month. Okay, so I'm not exploring it in this actual webinar, but you may want to look at it. Okay, things like Line, there's one for WhatsApp. Okay, there's games and things like that. Okay, so I would have a look and have an explore of that. It's a great place to start. Okay, you may just want to go categories by Google. There you know you're getting some solid quality wise. Okay, have a look at the star rating and the number of people who rated it. Okay, that Google Translate, that is a prime example. This is a popular extension and it's being used by a number of people. Okay, so then that's a good way to see. Shout out could be a new one by Google. So again, it maybe hasn't had too much usage, and again, with the more usage there's more feedback and the chances are that they've improved it. Google have improved the tool itself. Okay, so once you started looking at the extensions, you'll notice on your Chrome toolbar there's like a jigsaw puzzle piece there that says extension. If I click there, right at the cog at the lower part says manage extensions. If we click on manage extensions, it takes us to all the extensions that we have installed. And the reason I want to show you this is because, one, it's a great way to actually manage them. You want to remove an extension, you just click remove. Okay, for example, might remove it, click it and it disappears. Details would mean it takes me actually to more information on how it works in case there's any errors there. Okay, it may need privileges, it may need access to a microphone. This is where you can come and actually grant that access. Okay, back here then we can also see the pin. Okay, by clicking on the pin, let's find the first one I've got here, and the first one I will show you, tab resize. If we go to tab resize on my list, unpin it, you notice it disappears. Okay, so it's a good way to, I use these all the time, so I leave them there. Okay, let's just repin that. Find the tab, just click tab resize pin, and it's now there. We can also then move things along like that. Okay, so let's just go back, and now we're going to start looking at various extensions. The first extensions I want to show you are ones that will support you and help you with the actual view of your Chrome browser. Okay, so tab resize itself, this extension, if we click on it, click on tab resize, click on the 4 tiles, and now you'll notice it's opened up 4 Chrome windows. Okay, so great little way if you want things side by side. Okay, you just close them then, and you can revert back to your existing browser like that. Okay, that was tab resize. Okay, so a great way, it explains it as split screens. Okay, you can have 2 by 2 side by side, 4 in there, top and a bottom. Okay, let me just show you again, side by side, one on its own, things like that. Explore this again, you can right align things, the actual size, you can edit all of this. Okay, so maybe have an explore that. Again, it's a good tool. Again, I mentioned I use it daily. I may want to just have side by side my Google Classroom, and then I might have a Google Meet in there as well. Okay, something that we've been using a lot of at the moment. The next tab is called the Great Suspender. This for me is probably, I might say this a few times, but let's go. I'm already on the second extension and I'm already shouting out it's the best one. It's a tab that, an extension that I use daily, okay, a number of times a day. If I click it, what it does, it suspends all other tabs. Okay, so I've got this tab here. So let's just jump in some random. Let's go to CNN.com. We'll go to BBC Sports there. And we'll just do, let's just go to google.com. Right, so I mentioned all these tabs are currently working. Okay, they're up and running. Sometimes we have tabs that we want to keep open in the background just in case we need to use them again. Okay, and what the Great Suspender does, it puts them to sleep. Okay, the reason I use it daily is because with a Google Doc, a Google Slide, a Google Sheet, these are almost live tabs. They're constantly talking to the internet, and I started using this extension more and more during our online learning, because I was using Google Meet and I needed a certain amount of bandwidth, where sometimes then to improve the video quality, I would have to suspend these tabs. So if I click Great Suspender, suspend all other tabs, notice here now straight away they've grayed out. Okay, what that basically means is they are now asleep. Okay, the URL's still there. Okay, running in the background. Extensions won't do it, of course. Chrome Web Store has done it. And then all I need to do is I need to click here and it will reawake. It will wake it up. Okay, click here, it wakes it up. Click here, it wakes it up. Let me just close them too. So it's a great extension because it simply allows you to leave tabs open, but they're not actually using up any of your bandwidth. Okay, so that's a great one there, the Great Suspender. Next, okay, tab jump. Okay, so if I click on that now, you'll notice there will be tabs that I've recently closed. How many times have we closed tabs by mistake, but we just want to reopen them? Okay, and there'll also be frequently used tabs. Okay, so it's a quick one. If I check something this morning, what was that web page? I can't find it. Instead of going into the history, okay, they'll be quickly in here, but also there'll be certain tabs that I frequently use. Okay, so you'll have your Google Classroom, maybe your Seesaw if you use Seesaw, and there'll be certain tabs there. Okay, so that's a great little workaround or a quick way to access tabs that you have been using before. Okay, so that one is called, oh sorry, let me just power over there. That there is called tab jump. Okay, so I mentioned there those three extensions there. Let's just go back to the slide deck. Those three extensions there, tab resize, Great Suspender, and tab jump, are three extensions that I use that just help improve my view in Google Chrome, and then with a bit of productivity added in as well. Okay, talking of productivity, okay, here are some extensions that I would use again daily. Okay, so let's just jump back in here, and the first one is black menu. So if I click on black menu, what it does is it opens up Google Tools. Okay, quick access to Google Tools. Very similar here. Okay, the apps that are available here. However, this now is a little bit more personalized in the sense now we can actually move things around. So if I click on customize, okay, we can choose the actual tools we want. Okay, so COVID-19, remove that. Search, I want to keep. Maps, translate. News, not really. Keep, maybe I don't use keep, I use tasks. Okay, I also part of the admin console, so I want to add admin in there. Okay, I use chat a lot, so I put chat in there. And all of us at the moment, let's move that to the top, I use Google Classroom. Okay, click finish. So these are the tools then that I'm actually using all the time. Again, you've got the three dots here where we can actually jump back into there. Okay, and then we can go into the settings and we can just customize it a little bit more about how we actually want it to look. Okay, this is definitely, let me just go back here, this is definitely something, again, I mentioned I'm using daily, so I just click on there and it will then just quickly let me view something just a bit more direct. Okay, I want to go to Google Drive, it will take me into Google Drive there. Okay, so if I click on translate, for example, I can now just quickly go into here and use Google Translate. Okay, I want to access my Gmail, I won't do that now. Click Maps, it will open up Maps there. But then what it also does is, okay, I need to search in Maps, is it's got the button here where I click that, it will now open up, officially go to Google Maps. Okay, so that is why I'm a big fan of this, because it's just a quick way. Let's go to my tasks. It will just show me my tasks here. And you notice it's showing me my tasks without actually being in a Google tool. Okay, so I don't need to be in a Google tool here where we'd normally see it on the right hand side. Okay. The next extension then is add to drive, save to Google Drive. So if I'm in Google Maps here, if I click on save to drive, what this will do, you can see it's automatically saving. Okay, and it's saved, and what it's done, if I go into my Google Drive for this specific web page, it will have saved a image of that web page. Okay, depending on what if you're in a PDF, it will save a PDF. Okay, and there we can see it's saved a Google Maps. Once it loads, it may take a while because I've only just clicked on it. It will save an image of that web page. Okay, so that's saved to Google Drive. It's a great tool if you just want to quickly grab something and you just want access to it in the future. It'll save it to your Google Drive. At the same time, then it gives you the option then if you want to move it around. Next, okay, is Checker Plus, okay, for Google Calendar. If I click on that, what it does, it just opens up your calendar. So just a quick way to check your calendar. Okay, it's a nice way to just check my calendar, and it's a nice way for you to add an event. Okay, just click. Okay, it says there, just start typing. So I can either just say meeting, and I can choose a time, okay, where to put it, or I can just click plus, and I can actually start to create something there. Then a specific time, just click on a time, and it will add it for me there. Okay, so that's just a quick one, especially now where we are working a lot from home or we're doing a lot more things remotely. This now gives me just a quick access to my calendar. I can skip today's, and also it's got the feature here where it will just take me straight to calendar. Okay, so you may be exploring it like this. You've seen something, you want a little bit more information, get an edit, maybe a little bit more options. You just can click here and it will take you straight to your calendar. Okay, so that is quick calendar view there. Okay, Checker Plus for Google Calendar. Next is Extensity. What I like about Extensity is very, very similar to you actually managing your Chrome tools here, but it's just a way of seeing what extensions you have open there, okay, and the ones that are visible. But then you can actually go then, and I mentioned, let's just uncheck some of the ones we've just looked at now. So tab resize, if I click on it, it will disappear. So it's just a quick way of unpinning things. Okay, let's get black menu as we're going through these extensions. I can add them back later. Just a little bit of an easy way to manage things. But also what I do like is you can actually log in. Okay, you can go and this then will sync to all your other devices. Okay, so I click here again. There's just a few options there then that you can look to explore. If we go, if we click on the actual jigsaw piece, it will take me to my own page here. Okay, so it's just a quick way around going to click here, manage extensions. So again, it's all in that one place. Okay, we can just go in there. You may also have a few of the actual Google apps there that you just want to add, a Google Classroom. What it will do is it will just quickly open Google Classroom for you as well. So it's not just the extensions, it also lets you manage some of the actual apps down here and have quick access to those apps. Okay, whilst I'm in there, okay, I've just unchecked all of those, and we can actually move on to the next extension. So the next extension, okay, is Click URL Shortener. Okay, this is something again we've used a lot of during remote learning, online learning, as we just quickly want to generate a URL. So I'm in, let's just have a look here, I'm in Google Maps there. I want to share this map. I just click on the URL Shortener extension, and what it does, it just quickly creates a shortened URL. This URL, in fairness, isn't that long, but you sometimes get URLs that are longer than the actual bar. You can't actually see it, so you can just quickly click there. It will generate a tiny URL for you. I can just click, it automatically copies, but if you haven't, you just click copy there, and now it's copied, and you can actually go and paste it somewhere, be it in a document, an email, wherever you want to paste it. Okay. New feature then is, you can all see it there, the QR code. Okay, it's just generated a QR code straight away. So now we might be back in class now where we actually want to use more QR codes. Okay, we probably use less QR codes online because we're sharing them on the devices with a camera, so it was a struggle to scan a QR code. So this is another way. Now we can either right click, copy image, okay, and the other way then if you just wanted to do a screen capture, okay, the easiest one is right click and copy image, and then you can now paste that into somewhere and use it that way. So that is tiny URL, okay, and that is the last of our productivity tools. Okay, black menu, okay, great way to manage all your Google tools, customize it, quick access to certain things. Save to drive, okay, you might be in something, a PDF, a Google Doc or something, you want to add it to your drive, or more importantly, something a little bit different, you might be viewing an image and it will just take a screen capture of a web page. Checker plus then, okay, that's just a quick check for your calendar. Extensity is another way of managing your extensions and also manage your the apps, the Google apps, the G Suite tools that you want a quick access to. And last but not least, for productivity, you've got the one-click URL shortener that now lets you generate a QR code. Recording, okay? We've all of a sudden become movie makers, haven't we? We've all had to create things like this, webinars for our students, tutorials for our students. We've all of a sudden had to overnight learn how to create these videos, and I'm sure the videos you're creating now are a lot better than the ones you may have been doing in March and April, okay? And you may recognize some of these tools, okay? So let's start with Screencastify, okay? By installing Screencastify as an extension, it allows you the option to quickly record your screen by just accessing the extension. Okay. I just want to show you here. There's 5-minute limit per video. Okay, that's manageable. I mean, we can sometimes it actually supports what you're doing because you don't want videos to be too long, especially short tutorial videos. However, we can problem solve that, and if you need a 10-minute video, you can also snip 2 5-minute videos together. However, okay, there is, maybe you might want to speak, if there's a number of you, you might want to explore the school account. Okay, it's a paid account, but something that you may want to use. So there's a few things you can do. I can record just this browser tab that I'm using here. I can record the whole desktop, okay? I can record webcam only, okay? Or I can even do desktop and browser and embed the webcam, okay? Again, you've got the settings here to choose your camera, okay? Do you want your microphone on or off? More often than not, you want it on, okay? You can see the volumes working here. You can select if it's internal, external, everything like that. Let me turn my on off now in case there is an issue with me actually recording something else. If I go to show more options, okay, I just want to highlight show drawing tools, okay? If you're planning, we'll look at these in a minute. If you're planning on using these, obviously check that. If you're not, uncheck it. Okay, you just don't want it in the way. And then you've also got a countdown then, which is definitely handy, and you can customize that countdown as well. Okay, so let's put the drawing tools on and we'll turn the countdown. I'll leave it as it is actually. Right, now, okay, I'll click record. You can see all of a sudden, you can see I'm down there. Okay, I'm trying to point to myself. The first thing I need to do, I need to just give permission. So I'm going to give permission that it's going to allow me to record this screen. Click share, and now it'll start counting down. Okay, I'm hearing some beeping in my headphones here, and we're good. We're now recording this screen. Okay, it's recording my voice down there and my picture, but we've also got these tools here. Okay, so the first thing you can do is you can pause the recording. Okay, you've also then got the mouse pointer. So if you click on the mouse pointer, what it can do is you can change how the actual pointer looks. Okay, you can have a focus mouse, which we can scroll around like this. Okay, if you click on the mouse pointer again, we can say no mouse, and or no pointer mouse rather. You've also then got highlight the clicks. Okay, so if we highlight the clicks, what it will do is it will actually, you can hear me then. Okay, you guys won't be able to see it, but what it will do, it will just say click. Okay, it's making a noise there, and we're just saying click. Okay, the next tool is the pen tool. So we click on the pen tool, we can choose the color, and we can just, as we're browsing, as I am here, or as you're in a tool, you can just click and you can actually write. Okay, so we can do lines and things like that. And then you've got the eraser tool, which either allows me to erase certain parts of a drawing, or you can just click wipe screen completely clear. Okay, so they're the main tools, but there's also then the webcam. I may decide to turn it off, so now it's disappeared, and I may want to bring it back on. Okay, once we're finished, okay, I just like to show you can hide the tools there. Okay, we may not actually want them, and once we're finished, we can just go back into Screencastify here, and then once you stop recording, it will open up your video for you. Okay, so I'm playing it back here. Okay, you can skip through it, you can cut it. Okay, certain things you can do with it. Okay, I've got it muted there. Open in editor. Okay, this is where again it takes it up to another level. Again, you can actually start to edit, and again, if you're on the premium account, it will give you some extra options there as well. Okay, so there's certain things we can add text. Okay, we can crop it to certain areas. Okay, we can zoom in. Okay, if you actually want to go more into detail of what you're looking at, and then once you're ready, once you're happy, okay, crop is actually there. Click done, and you can even crop the screen itself. Okay, once you're ready, click export, and you can either export it to MP4 or export it directly to your Google Drive, which is the option I normally use, and then I will look to share it in Google Classroom. Okay, here I just want to show you that you've got a quick share tool here. Without going into the editor, and you're happy with this, you can actually go into share to Google Classroom, so it'll go straight to your Google Classroom, publish to YouTube, or you can just get a code where you want to embed it, or you can download it directly there. Okay, the next extension I want to show you is Loom. Okay, I've been going through Screencastify with you, and it's actually reminding me of how good a tool it is. However, day to day I'm actually using more of Loom. So if I click on Loom now will just ask us for access. Okay, just one click access. Good to go. So as I mentioned, Loom is very similar to Screencastify. Okay, so you can see it opens up here, little toolbar, little caption here for you. And the first thing you can notice is, okay, at the lower left hand side of the screen is my image here. Okay, so we can move this around. Okay, the camera. We can change the size of it. Okay, the size of the graphic. Again, we can move it around. So for now, let me just put this down here on the left hand side. I like this because sometimes, especially on some tools, say for a Google Drive or a Gmail, okay, around here is where you're normally working, so you can maybe want to put it on this side of the screen, so we can do that. And then what we can do then is we can record the screen and the camera, or we can do similar to Screencastify, we can do screen only or camera only there. And then we can just check our microphone, which microphone we're actually using, okay, as well as a camera, and there's just some advanced options as well. Okay, we can flip the camera. Okay, what this does is some webcams mirror your camera, okay, so which can be fine. However, if you are doing read alouds or you're doing something where you want to actually show a book or something or any text, okay, you may want to flip the camera. Okay, so that's something you need to explore. And that's the main one there. Then you've got the control menu. You'll notice now, if I just put the pictures here for you, you can't see a control menu. If I put the control menu, we've got that here. Okay, so we may want to pause things. We may want to start recording this way, stop recording, and we've also got the hide menu feature here as well, which is basically this checkbox here. Okay, recording count as like Screencastify 3, 2, 1, etc. It will do it for you. So let me just show you. We'll just do a quick recording here. So I can record a choice. Oops, I didn't let go of that there. So I can record the full desktop, my whole desktop, or I can actually record a current tab. Okay, so let's just do current tab for now. And then we've got start recording here, or again, we can start recording there. So if I click start recording, you'll notice it's counting me down to 1. My camera's there. Okay, so it's filming, and I can start to discuss things. And also what you can do is you can move this during a recording as well. So if I'm talking about something here, one at the top, I can then move this maybe out the way, and then in editing you can maybe do a jump cut there to actually remove that. Once you're happy and you finish recording, I'll press the cancel recording. Sorry, I won't click cancel, my mistake there. Click finish recording. And what it'll do, it'll take a few seconds. It will now start to process. Okay, it's given it a name. Okay, and it's normally the name of the tab that you're on. Okay, it tells you the time is, so I can actually play it back. Okay, and there's certain things you can do. You can watch it through quickly if you just want to see how everything's going. Then, okay, have an explore of some of these features. You can trim it. The call to action I like. It's basically you can add a button to a video. Okay, so you've seen them on YouTube, but a prime example is the subscribe button. Okay, these are basically call to action, so I can click there, and there's a way here now, a button. What does the text say, and then where does it actually go? Is it a link to your Google Classroom? Is it a link to a Google Doc or something like that? Okay, something you're actually discussing. I'll cancel that there. The custom thumbnail. Okay, you can either upload a photo of something if you want, so it won't just look like this. You may want to put something there, and then it gives you then the option to actually copy the link and share it. Okay, this doesn't integrate directly into Google Classroom like say Screencastify does. However, okay, it's definitely a tool I would look to explore. Okay, what you can also do, you can actually move it to a folder, because if you go to your personal library, as you've got a Loom account, it stores all your videos here. Okay, so I've got a couple of videos there, which is a little bit different to Screencastify and the actual Google Drive integration. Okay, so that's Loom. The next I would like to show you is one of my favorites. Okay, something new this year. It's an extension that allows you to record directly into Google Slides. Okay, so if I got the extension here, if I press record to slides, it'll come up here, a few prompts to install, allow camera access and everything like that. And then what it will do then, for example, if I'm on a web page, okay, you can see it's grayed out. Okay, but when I'm in Google Slides, you can see there's this new icon here. Okay, so if I press that, it's asking me now, okay, letting me record a short little video. So this is a great way to actually pose a question. Instead of putting text, you say, hi students, good morning, how are you? Hope everybody's had a great weekend. Today we're going to explore and put your video in here. Okay, so I'm just going to click record here. So hi students, how are you? Welcome to first period of week 16 or something, whatever you want to put in there. Click stop. Okay, again, it'll process it a bit. You've also got the option here, anyone in your domain, who can actually view this. Is it private? Okay, I would look to go normally put things like this in anyone. This is just this video, simply because then it just doesn't have any viewing issues that we sometimes get, especially when people embed videos into Google Slides, because even though the slide deck has been shared to anyone or shared to people within my organization or shared to individual, the content videos also need to be shared separately. So this is just making sure that works fine. Okay, so what I can do, I can click on that video and click OK. This sometimes takes a few seconds to insert, but what it will do, it will insert automatically into your Google slide. You can then move it around. You can change the size. So then if I was to click present, this now is a slide presentation with the video already in there. Okay. It's not ready, okay, so we won't be able to watch it yet. It's formatting just like Google Drive is. It's getting the video, but however, you could just click play there. Okay, let's jump back to our presentation. So we've looked at Screencastify and Loom, two very simple tools. The holdback for me for Screencastify is the free version is only 5 minutes. However, I'm a big fan of the draw tools. Okay, especially the spotlight. Okay, then Loom. Then I do quite like the rounded camera, and I also like the idea that you can easily move things around, and also then the length of the video. Then there's no limit to it. And then we looked at record to slides. Okay, great way to quickly add in a record feature there. The next extensions we're going to look to are support and feedback. I would also look at record to slides, okay, as a great way to offer feedback as well. So if students are submitting work to you that's a Google slide presentation, why not record your feedback to them? Add a slide at the end and record your feedback, okay, especially in a world where we're currently maybe not as connected, or we're not as close as we used to. An actual video feedback would actually probably go down well with students. Okay, so what we're going to look here, we're going to look at two feedback tools, Moat and Bitmoji, but firstly we're going to look at a support extension called Read and Write. Okay, so I'm on a web page here. Let's scroll down to, let's have a look. We just actually we're going to change there. We looked at let's just go to, we'll just Google BBC. So we've got this extension here, Read and Write. So if I click on Read and Write, what this does, it opens up a toolbar that has various support tools when it comes to basically reading and writing. Okay. So the first thing we can do is we can highlight some text and press play.
The best of the BBC, with the latest news and sports headlines, weather, TV and radio highlights and much more from across the whole of BBC Online.
So what that was doing there was actually reading the text back. Okay, that might be something that you want some of your students to use, but then you've also got a feature here where you can actually have what we call a spotlight on what the actual students are reading. Okay. So what that actually was doing was reading back any text that you have highlighted. If you want students to maybe concentrate more on what they're reading, you've got a feature here where we can highlight specific areas. Okay, you may be just offering support to students as they read. Well, here now we can actually scroll down and we can actually view specific text and have them read that back. Okay, we can exit that. It's also got, for example, if we highlight a word, it's got a built-in dictionary. So we can go to a dictionary here and it will give us a noun. Okay, if there's an adjective or a verb, it will also include that. But it's also got a picture dictionary as well, which may help some students. And it gives you an image. Okay, but that is an image that is actually worth knowing. It's copyright free, so something you can actually use if you're doing any presentations or you want some images or graphics. Okay. A few more things I just want to highlight, literally, no pun intended, is the highlight tool. So we can actually click on highlight and we can just highlight sport. Okay, and then we can maybe change different colors. Okay, so we can highlight this and we can go through and highlight things. So you may have a piece of text, so you want students to highlight verbs, you want them to highlight nouns, highlight adjectives. Okay, and then what they could do, they could potentially do a screen capture of that. Okay, there's a few more tools that you may want to go and explore. Okay, there is one here I just want to show you. Okay, that basically sometimes you have a lot of things on a page. It probably won't work too well on this page, but if I click simplify page, it generates then basically text only. Okay, so it's got rid of any images, it's got rid of anything like that. Okay, so it just simplifies it. Okay, and then we can then change it to black on depending on any students who might need support. Okay, we can actually change the color to make it easy, the font size, okay, the spacing, all of this then we can actually edit too. Okay, so that's in Read and Write. That's a great tool, especially on the Chromebooks. Okay, you can just install the extension. Then students as well. Okay, on the Chromebook you can easily manage your extensions in the admin console, and maybe have your ICT team actually support you with that. The second, it's the first feedback extension I would like to show you is called Moat. Okay, so in any G Suite tool, such as Slides, Docs, Sheets, even Google Classroom, and note that when you right click and you go to Insert Comment, you have the option here to type text as also, but now because I've installed the extension Moat, I've got the option here to record a message. You can see it's recording here, and I can say, "Hi Tim, great presentation here, really think you've done a great job." However, you may want to look at putting in less text, more graphics, or you might want to maybe add a video to one of the slides to break it up. Okay, great job. Continue with this, continue improving it, and you can resubmit your work. Click Done. Now what it's done, we can remove this text if we wish. It basically puts a audio comment instead of a text comment. So they will press play and it will play it back to them. Okay, and then if they want and they have Moat installed on their device, they can then respond with a audio comment as well. Again, I mentioned times have changed. We're maybe not seeing students as much as we had before. This is just another way of offering feedback that isn't the plain text, okay, that we may find boring is the wrong word, but it may just be a nice way to offer feedback. The next is an extension called Bitmoji. We've all heard of Bitmoji, but it's also a great feedback tool. Okay, so I just installed Bitmoji, logged in. It may be sometimes where we would normally just put a tick, okay, maybe we can put something like that and put an emoji in there, put it at the end of an email, put it in Google Classroom. It's just another way. So it's just makes things a little bit more fun in a challenging time. That might go down well with students. Okay, but also there are other things we can do. We can search for certain things. There's mission accomplished there. We can maybe ask why, okay, or what. If there isn't a Bitmoji, if you scroll right down, it will actually generate just the standard word there and a graphic. Okay, so you can say what or whatever it is, and then it's even got the things like hello, anything like that. Put in great, and it will come up with good stuff. All this kind of thing then that students, especially elementary, primary students, will love. However, secondary students, as we all know, are too cool for school. They will probably pretend that they don't like this, but deep down I'm sure they will like a Bitmoji. I use it with staff as well, okay, unless I'm getting it completely wrong. I do think they have a bit of a chuckle when they receive them. I even put them sometimes in emails. Okay, so if I go back here, we've looked at Read and Write that supports reading and writing, and then Moat and Bitmoji, an audio and a graphic way to potentially offer feedback. Before we end, I'd like to show you some extensions that actually integrate again into other Google G Suite tools. Okay, so the first one is Equatio. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is apologize for my math, but if we go into a Google Doc, okay, and we've installed Equatio, it gives us the potential to insert some sort of math formulas. Okay, I'll wait for this to load, and when I click Equatio, it will open up at the lower part of the page a toolbar basically that offers you some math support. Okay, first one I'm going to show you here, the STEM tools. Okay, it has a periodic table. Okay, so we can actually highlight some of these, and it gives us this information. I love this. I think this is amazing. We can then add it to equation editor, so it's come in there. Then we can grab another. Again, we can add this. Okay, and then what we can also do, we can go in here and we can actually add some things in here if we were going to do some sort of equation. But again, it's got the graphic, it's got some of the atomic numbers, all this kind of things then that would definitely support a science teacher and a science student. Also in the STEM tools, it's got scientific calculator, which also comes in handy. Again, we don't need to request students purchasing these now. Okay, we've got them all here, so we can just click and it will actually do things for us here, including all of this. Tell us if there's an error. And then it's also got here the molecular viewer. Again, very similar. Okay, I'm not going to go in and attempt to do this, but then it will go and it will create some of the molecular graphics that you can also use there. It's again, if you've got Chromebooks with a pencil built in, you can actually go in the handwriting recognition. But again, it's something here, especially if you're a math teacher or a science teacher, you'll understand this better than me, but you can actually go in and see things. You've also got the option here then that will give you some sort of support tools, okay, which will help you just explore it. But again, it's a great tool. I know our math teachers and science teachers here are using that. Okay. Next is Smart PDF. It basically does what it says on the can. Okay, it's a Smart PDF. So if we've got a PDF that we want to convert, we go to Smart PDF. We've all done it. We've Google searched to do it. We can now just convert Word to PDF just directly within a extension. Vice versa, PDF to Word. Okay, PowerPoint to PDF is sometimes a good one. Okay, because sometimes we just want to put a PowerPoint into a simple PDF format. We want to put it on Google Classroom or something, where we can do that, and it simply does it. If we're on and we're viewing a PDF, we've got the download PDF option there then. Okay. Last of all, before I do leave you, is Unsplash. When we're creating, especially now, we've all decided, or we're not decided, it was basically forced upon us, we've all started creating a lot more content than we would have done before. We're looking for graphics. So if we use Unsplash, okay, all of these graphics here are free to use. Okay, they're copyright free. Okay, some of them are simple. Okay, sometimes you just want a graphic, and sometimes the best graphic in a presentation is a graphic that almost blends in. You hardly know it's there, but it just adds a bit of context. Okay, you don't want to draw attention. Sometimes you want a graphic to fill space that is relatable to the actual content, but at the end of the day, you don't want it to just draw too much attention to it. Well, this is the place for you. Unsplash. Okay, and then you've got the search feature there. You can search anything basically. Okay, we can search tree, and there we've got some beautiful graphics of trees. Okay, I recognize this from Seti's presentation and webinar the other day. Okay, I believe I could be wrong, and this is a graphic he used when he was creating a header for his Google Classroom. Okay, so I just quickly switched accounts there. Basically, I wanted to get onto an account where I can actually access Google Classroom that has some content in there. Okay, so there's one more extension I'd like to share with you, and it's called Kami. Okay, so we can notice here this Kami here. You can log in and set yourself an account up as a teacher. It's 90 days free. However, after those 90 days, then it may be something that you want to explore as an organization. School-wide account there. Okay, it comes then with a Chrome extension itself. Okay, if I click on the Chrome extension, it will then just pop up and it will open up a Kami page here, my Kami account, where I can actually start to explore things. Okay, so I'm going to, again, you can open from Google Drive, open from computer, create a classroom assignment here, or a new blank page. Okay, I'm just going to open up something here. So this is going to be my first assignment for students using Kami, because I actually want them to show them how it actually works here. Okay, so just quickly go through Kami. It is basically, it's like a markup tool for a PDF or a document. Okay, and it's integrated into Google Classroom. This is great for feedback and marking, but also for students themselves. Okay, you can have a proper explore of this. Okay, but we can mark things up. Okay, which means we have the option here of highlighting, underlining things. We can add a comment similar to that you would to a Google Doc. Got a text box, so we can add a text box. We can change the font, the size, etc. Equation, not as extensive as Equatio, but then it gives us the option. Then we can actually have symbols we can insert. Then drawing, especially for feedback, the drawing tool is great because we can just start drawing on a document here like that. Okay. Insert shapes. Okay, it's got all these shapes you can do, and then it's also got the eraser there, so I can actually erase anything that I've got. as well as image and signature. Okay, so I've got this document here. Now I've uploaded it. I want to share it with my students. So what I can do is I can click on the menu, and it's got here create assignment. So I click assignment. It does, Kami does its thing there, takes a few seconds, and now this is in Google Classroom. We can actually select then one of my classes. Okay, let's just grab one of them, and then we can give a title to the assignment just like you would in Google Instructions. It's attached to the document here. You may want a working copy, however, it's more often than not is make a copy. We can schedule and everything like that. We can send instructions to students if they're completely new to Google Classroom, to Kami. However, more often than not, then we'll just uncheck these. Okay, we can attach more resources. Okay, if we just want a read-only document to support them, and then we click assign. Okay, so that's a great way then to assign within Kami and going through Google Classroom. Okay, however, for me the main or the pro and the reason that I use Kami is actually because of when students submit work, they will then submit work. Okay, so let's just say, for argument's sake, a student has created this piece of work here. Okay, what I can do, I can go to drawings and I can actually mark this piece of work. I will maybe put this in here, and I'll just put an arrow in there. I might want to put text box in there. Let's just put a text box here. Okay, okay, wrong choice of color, but I've written in there center align. Okay, just to go through all of this, then we can actually remove this. Okay, and what we can do then is we can just share the document. Okay, and we can send it back to the student. Okay, for example, if they were to put that text in there, we can maybe go over and we can actually just say to them, change the color. Okay, change color. Okay, we can even give positive feedback or something like that, that we just say that's a tick, things like that. We send this back to the student. They will receive that like this. Okay, they can then select some of the things, and they can actually go and they can then just basically make any corrections, and then they can submit it back to you. Okay, also with Kami, okay, I've done this here, but also in Google Classroom itself. Now, because I've got it installed, I go to create, and we can directly create a Kami assignment there. This is where you'll recognize this just from a minute ago. It will go into here and it will create the assignment here. Now I can attach a document, okay, or a PDF or something like that. I can attach a file. This file then, okay, what it will do is it will open it directly in Kami for the students. Okay, so I'm not uploading it here, I'm just uploading it as a PDF. They will receive it, but they will work on it in this layout here. They can start to do things like this then, and then when they submit it, you'll return it to you, and it will come back in one of these in this format, where you then can edit it and you can send it back to the students. You can have that conversation, okay, especially during school closures. This was a tool we were using definitely daily, and it was a great way to send work, for students to submit work, to assign work, and then also for us to offer feedback. Okay, so that's the last extension I want to share with you, and that's Kami. So that's basically the webinar for today. Okay, I just want to remind you again about that Chrome web. So get in there and explore it. Okay, have a look what's in there that you can potentially use, things that will actually add value to your teaching and learning. Okay, it's just a massive store. Search things, search math, see if there's anything that's there. Search art and see if there's anything there that will actually support you. Okay, so to end, now I'm just going to quickly go back here. So that's a wrap on Chrome extensions. Okay, first of all, I'm aware there was a lot of information there. Okay, I've given you a number of extensions there. I've tried to explain and try and show you extensions that you can use as of today. As of today, tomorrow you can get using these extensions. Okay, so maybe a takeaway could be, look at 2 or 3. Okay, maybe look at 2 or 3, or 2 a week. Let's say 2 a week. So pick 2 now, have a look how they work, how you can actually use them, and if once you're happy with those 2, then go on and use another 2. I mentioned earlier about there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of extensions out there. Some are gimmicks, and I do love gimmicks, and I do love funny, quirky add-ons. However, I've tried to highlight extensions here that truly make a difference to our teaching and learning. These are extensions that I do use. Okay, this is why I wanted to share them with you and maybe get you, if you're new to extensions, get you exploring extensions. Okay, I'm just left to thank you guys. I've been in the chats of various other webinars. Okay, I've got another webinar myself coming up. It's been great engaging with you. I thank you for that. I think it's great that you guys are wanting to grow, wanting to develop. So thank you very much for doing that. Okay, again, at the beginning I mentioned my Twitter there, @EdTechEvans. Please do connect with myself. Let's see if we can share some ideas, collaborate with things in the future. Okay, so thank you very much, and I'm going to try and get this right. Thank you there, and see you all again. Stay safe. Thank you.